The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised. You are now entering the all-consuming realm of Shay's Paranormal Chat, where the things that are better left unsaid are actually said.
Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to Shay's Paranormal Chat. Paranormal podcasting done Shay's way. Tons of fun.
Dude, seriously?
A bit sarcastic.
Hashtag investigator, not hunter.
But always real.
Hashtag data, not evidence.
Don't get your panties in a twist.
Oh my god, really?
This is real, raw conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
TGIF, everybody. How's everybody's Friday going? We are excited to be on tonight after last week's no-show, thanks to the weather. Kelly, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Doing good.
Living the dream?
I'm living.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, honestly, things are going pretty good right now. I'll have to send you pictures of my house, or I'll post them for everybody. But we're getting our house resided right now, and it's so pretty.
Yay. That's awesome. Very excited. Tonight, as everybody knows, we have Daryl Marston with us. Woohoo!
Woo-hoo.
How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you making out?
We're doing good. I'm happy this finally worked out. Been working on this for a little while now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm honored to be on here, and I can't wait to get to the questions and talk ghost hunters and paranormal and all that good stuff.
Yes, it's going to be fun. So I have this little game that I'm trying to remember to do at the beginning of the show now instead of the end, because what it is the 5 or 6 questions that always get asked in every single show. I just put them in a list, and I'm going to give you 2 words, and you choose which one is most likely your go-to out of the 2. There's no absolutes. It's pretty easy. And I would say there's no right or wrong answer, but you never know. So, all right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This just saves us time, because these are asked in every single show. So,
All right.
Paranormal investigator or ghost hunter?
Paranormal investigator.
Data or evidence?
I would say data.
Provoking or no way?
No, absolutely not.
Residential or commercial?
Ew, that's a good one. I say commercial.
Orb or just dust?
Dust.
Recorder or video?
I'm very visual, so I have to say video.
All right, last one.
Yep.
Demon or grumpy spirit?
Yeah, grumpy spirit, definitely.
See? Ding, ding, ding. So you got them all right.
Yep.
Those were good answers. We'll go ahead and finish the rest of the show with you now.
Yeah.
Am I done? Can I go now?
Yeah.
No. If you answer wrong, we end the show
That's
right
it.
there. Just
No.
boop, done, you're out.
No worries.
It just saves a lot of time and it makes it a little funner.
Yeah, that was actually fun. I've never done that before.
People get nervous there, though. They're like, what? What?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't get nervous that easy, but that was fun. That was actually fun.
I'm going to give a few shout-outs to the first people in chat so far. We have Darren. We have Mama Deb. We have Matt. And I think that's everybody so far. So if I missed you, Kelly will make up for it later, guys.
That's a lot of pressure. Okay.
Oh, I know. So let's get the first question that I know will be popping up here in chat. How did you get into the paranormal?
Oh, God, man, I've told this story. I feel like I tell this story every night now. It was actually, a lot of people don't realize, I actually got paranormal by a complete accident. It wasn't something I ever thought about doing. What happened was, I grew up as a child in a haunted house, but I was too young to remember it. When we moved out of there, I think I was like 6, and I just remember the stories that my parents would tell me and my grandparents would tell me when I was growing up. So I was always interested in it. Used to watch all the shows back in the 90s and stuff. And in the early 2000s, while the shows started coming out, I started watching a little bit of it, like Ghost Hunters and some of the other ones. And in 2005, I actually got invited to an investigation. It was around Halloween. It was like a Halloween type thing, like a local team was doing it at Fort Delaware. And it was only like 2.5, 3 hours. And so, whatever, I'll go. And it was my mom, myself, my stepsister, and we all went. And we got there, there's literally like 100 people there. And come to find out, they were doing a historical tour or a paranormal tour. And back in 2005, 2006, you got to remember paranormal wasn't as big as it is now. And a lot of people still veered away from it. And so they asked, hey, who wants to go on a historical tour? Raise your hand. And literally 95% of the room raised their hand. And who wants to go on a paranormal tour? And it was like 5 of us. It was the 3 of us and a couple that came that we didn't know. And this little old guy stands up and he said, I'm the paranormal investigator. I'll take you. So he takes us through Fort Delaware. And if you've ever been to Fort Delaware, it's huge. It was actually on the original Ghost Hunters a couple times. And I saw, we were down in the casemate, and I actually saw the first time I ever went on an investigation, a half body apparition standing there staring at me. I didn't say anything to anybody. I thought they would think I was crazy, and I'll never forget it. It was from like the shoulders up, the head, and it was a man, got shoulder length, real scraggly hair, and a really scraggly, dirty beard with like debris in it, like leaves and stuff. And he just disappeared. He was there for about 8 or 10 seconds and just disappeared. And I didn't tell anybody. And I didn't tell anybody for a few years after that. But when I left there that night, I knew I wanted to do this in some aspect. So I started doing local stuff. I didn't know anything about the equipment or how to investigate. I knew nothing about that. I learned all on my own. And I met my wife. We started dating, and she was kind of into it. And we started doing it and doing local places. And then 2011, I started my own paranormal team called Breaking Paranormal. And we actually traveled down the East Coast, up to like New York, New England, all the way to Ohio, Kentucky, name it. And we did a lot of investigating. We were going like once a month, maybe twice a month, spending a lot of money, our own money, dime. And after a couple of years, I was like, man, we got to slow down. We're just blowing money like crazy, So I said, how can I stay in touch with the paranormal and not have to investigate every month? And that's when I started getting into podcasts and live streams. So I started out on YouTube for about a year. It was very slow, and it grew a little bit. And then I went to like a podcast type setting like you guys are doing, where it was, all audio. And then did that for about 7 or 8 months, and I was like, I want to try. I want to live stream. I want a video. So I knew about Paranormal Warehouse, and I reached out to those guys, played phone tag a little bit, and they liked my show, and they brought me on. The American Ghost Hunter show is what it's called. It's still on to this day. and it blew up, did really good. And then next thing I know, I'm getting called by ghost hunters to do the reboot, and been doing that ever since. And now I'm co-owner of Paranormal Warehouse as well.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's quite the ride.
Yeah.
Well, and it's so easy. I mean, I'm listening to you tell your story and thinking it's so easy to drop a salary on paranormal investigating. So,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
people
definitely get your name out there. That's good.
People are spending their mortgage payments on investigating. It's like
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It gets addictive, especially when you're doing those big locations that you always wanted to go to, and then you're like, yeah, okay, $200, I can make it work.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll do something. I can work overtime or whatever, make it up. But it got to the point where I was just like, I got to slow down and maybe do one investigation every 2 months instead of twice a month. And that's why I really got into live streaming, and I loved it. And I got to the point I started out doing a show a week, and then it started out to be 2 shows a week, then 4 shows a week. And then I was doing live investigations, having other shows come on and investigate while I'm streaming them. And it just grew and blew up. And that's one of the reasons I got called by ghost hunters. They saw some of my work. Pilgrim Media did. And next thing I knew, I'm flying out to LA and signing contracts, and I'm part of the new show.
We have some questions already coming in, but while you're talking about joining Ghost Hunters, honestly, I'm behind. I just finished season 1. I don't have a lot of time. I'm very busy, but for me to watch a whole season of any paranormal show, let me tell you, that means I respect you, because I'm not I'm not a paranormal TV. You can ask anybody, but I've always said, before you guys even started back up, that the only show I really, really liked was the original Ghost Hunters. And this one's just as good.
Yeah,
but,
you haven't seen season 2 yet.
No, I haven't.
It's a whole different animal.
Yes.
It's season 1 was a lot like the old show. We were kind of like, and I say this to a lot of people, I try to explain it to them, the difference. We were kind of following the blueprint of the old show.
Right.
And it was a little stale and a little outdated, so we wanted to amp it up. So season 2 came around. We had like a 2-week break between season 1 and season 2. And we're like, all right, look, we want to do this a little bit differently. Grant wanted to step back anyway and become more of the producer, and we wanted to do more of the investigating. So we're like, all right, so we want to amp it up. We want to change it up a little bit and change up the dynamic of the show. And LA was like, okay, cool. We like what we were hearing. But if you're going to do that, we're going to put you in the most remote places that we can find in the United States. And that's what they did. They put us in places that have never been seen on TV before, that take sometimes days to get to. The only one that's ever been on TV before it's Waverly, which is next week.
Right.
And the only reason we went back to Waverly because the owner, Tina, had some new stuff happening there. She wanted some answers for, and she wanted the new team to come in and see, get their spin on it. And I just watched the episode yesterday. I was blown away by it. And I can't wait till everybody sees it. It's amazing. But these locations, if you haven't seen season 2 yet, oh my God!
I will.
It's the scenery. It's amazing the way it's shot. It's shot like each episode shot like a movie, like a Netflix movie. It's really wild.
Wow. I can't wait.
And I think there's some value, though, getting into the places that haven't been quite so commercialized. I mean, when you go into a place like Waverly, for example, not saying that you're not going to get unique experiences every time, but you kind of have an idea of what to expect there. But when you're going into a new location, something that hasn't been out on TV all the time or even investigated a lot, it's like virgin ground. And that's sometimes when you get your best experiences. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're exactly right, 100% right, because Waverly. The cool thing about Waverly, we actually put a different spin on it, and we caught some of the old evidence, but we also got some new evidence that people are going to see. They're going to be like, oh wow, okay, but these places we went to and the new equipment we brought, because we're not using equipment that's ever been used in the paranormal before, like the EMCCD camera, which a lot of people don't realize the EMCCD camera has been around for 30 years. It's been used by the military, by NASA, and by the scientific field to capture photon events, single photon events. And we were able to get our hands on one thanks to Brandon. He knows a scientist that had one, and these scientists are interested in the paranormal. And they're like, okay, so we're going to give you this camera, and we want you to go out and see what you can find with it on ghost hunters. And I tell you what, the evidence we capture is mind-blowing. And it's stuff that, I've been doing this for 15, 16 years, but I still can't wrap my head around it.
Nice. Wow, I can't wait. Speaking of equipment, let's ask. I want to ask one of Darren's questions here because he's got a bunch. What is your favorite piece of equipment currently? I'm
a big believer in the EMCCD camera and body cams. We use body cams from the show, and if anybody watched my investigation in Alaska, they saw what I captured on my body cam, and thank God I had it on, because if I didn't have it on, it would just have been a personal experience. Right. And I'm sure there's a lot of people on here listening that saw the Alaska episode where I caught a full body apparition coming down the hallway at me, and you could hear it charging me. And we actually got some EVPs at the same time from it, and the body cam actually captured it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I did not see that. I'll have to go find it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be you're not going to be disappointed in any episode in season 2. Yeah. Believe me, they're all as evenly matched and as exciting as the next one. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I'm going to ask a question because I'm one of those technical newbie people. So you've mentioned the EMCCD camera. What does it really do? I mean,
it measures.
It's one piece I'm not super familiar with.
Well, yeah. Well, no one is, honestly, because it's like I said, it's been used in the military, and NASA have been using it for 30 or 40 years now. What it does is it measures photon events, single photon events. And so what you're doing is you're taking this camera that can actually capture photons, which you can't see with the naked eye. And sometimes they're all around us, and we're having apparitions that are coming in as photons on our camera. You're not seeing them on the IR camera, you're not seeing them on the thermal camera, you're not seeing them on body cams. You're only seeing them on the electron multiplying camera, which is insane. Because it's like almost looking into another dimension, and it's really wild. You'll see one that we call in a place called Fort Stanton, which is in New Mexico, where you see an apparition actually come out of a wall and look down the hallway at us and pop back into the wall on the EMCCD, and that type of stuff is just, when you capture that, you can't wrap your head around it. You're like,
right.
Yeah, and especially when you have other cameras in the room at the same time, IR cameras, body cams, the camera crew who are with us, our camera guy, and nobody else is capturing this, and you're not seeing it with your visual eye, and you're looking at the screen on the EMCCD, and you're seeing it in real time. You're like, what the hell? Yeah, it's crazy. It's an amazing.
That sounds awesome.
That does sound awesome. That really does.
I'll just hit up NASA, see if I can get one. It'll be fine.
Excuse me. Hello, NASA. Can I borrow? For us, Kelly, they would. I'm sure.
Well, I talk to them every once in a while, so I should be able to just say, by the way, can I just have one of these, please?
Please.
It's funny. It's one of the biggest questions. The biggest two questions we get in season 2 are, I always get the question. Everybody, I get text messages on Messenger and all over social media every day asking me, what's the serial number on the body cam I wear? Because supposedly my body cam is the only one that can capture anything. Where can you get an EMCCD camera? And my question for my answer for the EMCCD camera is, you really can't. They're kind of made to order. So when these companies, like, when certain scientists order them, or there's only like one or two companies in the entire world that makes them. And when you order it, I mean, you're talking, the new ones are upwards of $60,000.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that in my pocket. Ugh.
Yeah, we actually seen a used one for like $9,000. So, yeah. Yeah, and there's, supposedly, I hear there's blueprints out there people are selling to make them. I don't know how, I don't know how legit that is, but, who knows?
What's your favorite piece of equipment that everyday people can get? How about that?
Well, I mean, body cams. They're not that.
He's starting up a team, so that's why he's asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What was his name? Sorry.
Darren.
Daryl. Or Darren, sorry.
Darren.
You're Daryl. He's Darren.
Yeah, Darren. I mean, if you're starting up a team, you can get body cams relatively cheap off of Amazon. They're not quite the ones I use. The one I use is probably around $350 to $400, maybe a little bit more. But I've seen them on Amazon for like $2-something. You want to probably, if you're just starting out, man, and you've never done this before, and you're trying to save money, if you can afford an EDI Plus, they're like $210. It's basically a multi-functioning tool. It has it's basically like every piece of paranormal equipment in one little box.
I have one of those coming in the mail.
Yeah, EDI Plus are big. We brought them on last season, and it's funny because we watched, like, we were looking at the prices, and somebody actually posted the price changes of our equipment ever since we started using it online, and all the prices that went up.
I could tell you I paid more than that for mine.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's sad because I think when we first got them back in season 1, it was like toward the beginning of season 1. I think we were like 3 or 4 episodes in when we got them, and they're around $210, maybe $200, and I've seen them upwards of $400 on some sites. But I tell you what, it's such an amazing piece of equipment because it measures temperature increase, temperature decrease, pressure changes, humidity, vibration, which is the and what else? Something else it measures too. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. But it's basically all EMF. It's just
EMF, temperature, vibrations. Yeah.
It's this one box that does all that. It's so well insulated. You could actually put a cell phone or a walkie-talkie next to it and tune it, and it will not go off. It's not like a K2 or a REM pod where, somebody gets a text message, the REM pod will go off, or a walkie-talkie will set a REM pod off from, 2 floors away. It's such a great piece of equipment, and I recommend everybody, if you can afford one, get one. And it's funny because I went to an event in Virginia back in January. It was an event they were doing. I go there, I sign autographs, and I do an investigation for everybody. I show up, and I'm thinking people are going to have, K2s and stuff. This whole team showed up with EDIs. I was so impressed. It's like, this is great. But yeah, I mean, if you can afford an EDI, if not, you definitely get a good audio recorder. I always suggest anything made by Zoom. Zoom recorders are amazing. Even the Zoom ones, the originals, you could probably get one for like $90 to $100. I have a Zoom 6 that I actually use on the show, which is around $400, but it's my personal one. I use it for everything. You have what else can you get?
You guys use tri-field meters, right?
We were using the old tri-field meters, but the problem with the old ones and we found out they're not well insulated. So if there's any false positive, we kind of rule it out and we get rid of it. So we went with the new ones, the new tri-field, which is it's digital and it's really well shielded. We tested it with walkie-talkies and phones, and it doesn't set it off. So we kind of like toward the end of season 2, we started getting them and starting implementing them. But the EDI Plus, it pretty much takes the place of the tri-field anyway.
Yeah. I have one finally, but I haven't had a chance to use it because we've been at stay-at-home order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to try. We have so many questions. I'm not ignoring the questions, guys. A few more shout outs here while we have we'll let Daryl breathe for a second. We have Cam has joined us, Fred have joined us, Eye of the Beholder. Matt's in there. I'm not sure if I said that earlier. And I just like throwing them out as I see them because sometimes we get so busy. Let's see. Where's my questions? Do you have a question,
So
Cal?
I was just going to go back and ask a couple. So you've been all over now the U.S. investigating, and do you have like certain areas of the country that you feel are more haunted than others?
To be honest with you, I've been so used to doing the East Coast for so many years. It was such a pleasure to go out west, like, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, more in the South, California, Alaska. I like it out there. I just like that history, the Old West type stuff that we investigate out there. I see, it's weird because I see different kinds of hauntings where we go, depending on where we're at. Like down south, we did a lot of stuff down south in season 1, like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and it seems like down there, it's the traditional, the lady in white,
right,
gray, who's mourning the death of, her husband and children who died from, Spanish flu or during the Civil War or whatever. And you see a lot of that down there. When you go out west, like, out to like Arizona and New Mexico, there's a lot more Native American, a lot more of like the people who were, killed, gunned down in the streets or stabbed to death in a saloon fight. And it's really interesting to see that. And then you have like, the different kinds of people explaining what they're seeing. Out west, you see they explain a lot of the shadow figures as more of like a smoke or like a steam when they see them. And, like we're down south and out here on the East Coast, you hear a lot about the shadow anomalies and things of that nature. So, yeah, it's a little bit different. Alaska was a whole nother ballgame. I mean, everything in Alaska, it was crazy.
Right.
Yeah, it was just amazing just going there. It was such a trek to just get there. A lot of moving parts because, I mean, people don't realize, okay, they see the 6 of us, but they don't realize we have 20 other people who are with us as well, crew and producers, and there's a lot to get there. And, that was quite the ordeal just getting to where, because, I mean, we had to fly to Alaska, and then we had to take a 4-hour boat ride to the location, which was an outpost that was actually where you go to get to that across. There's a canal that takes you out to the ocean and takes you to this outpost. Well, they closed that part of the canal down from January to March or April because the weather's so bad. You're not supposed to be out there. So we had to charter our own ship, and that was pretty treacherous, especially trying to get back. But that was a whole beast, but it was so worth everything we caught out there, and it was just amazing just being there.
I've known quite a few people that have lived there or visited, and I hear that. So.
Yeah.
Just the wildlife alone. I mean, we've encountered so many different types of wildlife filming this show. We were in Alaska and we were filming. It's like maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We're out in the street. It's just pouring down snow, and all of a sudden, a full-size bull moose walks right through our production.
Oh my gosh!
With a calf, just walking down the middle of the street. It was so wild.
Like nothing. Like, hi guys.
This thing probably weighed 1,500 pounds and was about 8 foot tall. It was huge.
It's not terrifying at all.
Yeah, no, you want to get out of the way of them because they're dangerous.
Oh yeah, especially when they have a baby.
Yeah. So we kind of just all stepped out of the way and waited for it to. But we didn't bother it, so whatever. So it just kept walking.
Crazy. Oh, the experiences, it's got to be crazy.
That is my biggest fear, though, of investigations, is running into stray people or stray animals.
Yeah, we've done both.
Yeah.
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 You'll watch, when you watch season 2, you'll see the first episode, which was Clifton, Arizona, where we had a run-in with not just the paranormal, but some of the town folk.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's quite the episode.
I'm going to get to it. I literally just finished season 1 this week, so.
Rushing up.
Yeah.
So far of the locations that you've been to that you can talk about that have aired, what's been your favorite?
I think I'm going to put that in a couple different categories, because I think the one I look forward to the most was Waverly Hills, because it was always on my bucket list. And I had been invited there several times. I never made it for one reason or the other. And I finally got to go and investigate with the team I love, here on Ghost Hunters. And, you have a full production behind it, and it was just amazing. We were there for a week, and incredible place to investigate. So that was probably the one I look forward to the most. But as probably my favorite investigation, I'm going to break it down to the season. Season 1 would probably be Tampa, Texas, which was an old hospital we did there, and probably...
I think that was the season finale.
Yeah.
I just watched it, so...
Yeah,
I watched it yesterday.
I knocked the wall down.
Yep.
It stuck my head through it, yeah. Tampa, Texas, and we did one called the Mohican Castle, which was in Ohio, which was amazing. Just being there was awesome. It was beautiful. But in season 2, God, they're all so good. I would say probably Fort Stanton, which was in New Mexico, and probably Alaska. Just because of the evidence we captured too.
I liked my favorite episode from season 1 was the and you'll probably find my reasonings strange, or actually you'll probably get why. Was the old Original Springs Hotel.
Original Springs, yeah.
I loved that one because of the compassion and the empathy that you purposely saw you guys talking about, like, let's not go in there and talk about how they died. Let's treat them. Yeah.
That was crazy, because Original Springs, people don't realize there's a water source under there that has, I forget, it has less minerals or more minerals than what average water has in it by like 1,000%. So if you drink it, it cleanses your body or whatever. So a few of us actually drank it, and I was one of them. And I tell you what, you felt like you were, like about a half hour later, you felt like you were on cloud 9, and you're just giggling. And I'll never forget, it was me, one of my camera ops, Kendall, which is the DP, and one of my producers. We were doing a photo shoot in between. It was during the day, and we were in the building, and we just drank the water like 20 minutes before that. And I'm standing on a staircase, and it's the picture you guys used for my flyer. Yeah. That's the picture right there. That was in Mineral Springs. I'm standing on the staircase in the attic, and they're taking pictures of me, and they had this big light up at the top of the attic shooting down on me. And we were standing there, just the three of us, and something walked past the light and blacked it out. Like, something just walked past this huge light and blacked it out. And, like, I'm standing there on the staircase. They're down at the bottom. Their, like, eyes are getting big. And I'm like, I turn around. I'm like, I was so giddy. I was giggling. And I was like, oh, it's a ghost. And I started cracking up.
That's why it healed people back in the day, though, because they were so happy and giddy that they forgot they weren't supposed to be able to walk.
It was amazing. I was going to bottle that water. Matter of fact, they used to sell it. I think they lost their license or something, but they were selling the water where you could order it, and it was amazing. It just made you so happy, and like you're just like, hey, oh, it's a ghost. It's just like so funny. I wish they had that on camera.
think it's funny that no matter how much people do this, when you have an experience, you still get that little schoolgirl or little schoolboy response of, "Oh, that was so cool," you know?
Right?
But if you drink the water, you forget that you're supposed to chill a little bit. When
We're supposed to be cool now.
Yeah, right. It snuck up on us, that water. We drank it, and I don't feel anything. Like, a little, like, half hour later, we're just, like, laughing and just, the dumbest things.
That's me drinking margaritas.
Yeah, that's how you know it.
True.
Yeah, you know you were drinking. Yeah, exactly.
You caught a shadow person or a full-blown apparition on your body cam? Did you say shadow?
No, it wasn't. I saw it with my own eyes as a shadow person, but when we caught on the body cam, it looked like Casper the Ghost.
Oh,
Is
wow.
what it looked like. It was the crazy thing is I didn't catch it just once. I caught it twice. It literally popped out and was about anywhere from 8 to 10 inches in front of my face, standing there, and it popped back, and then it came out another about 8 or 10 seconds later, about 3 foot away from there, and popped out again to see where I was. I think I startled it.
Yeah.
I think it was like just as afraid of us as we were of it, you know, and I think I startled it, and it startled me, and it was pretty crazy, yeah.
I can't remember who I was even talking to, but you're right about that. I think that sometimes they get as startled seeing us as we do them. It's like, oh, there's somebody there, you know? And
It's like the
get
M&M and Santa Claus commercial.
I say that all the time, and that's exactly the reference I use. They're real. He is real.
Yeah.
But
you wonder if they see us as ghosts or shadows.
Yeah, do they think we're the ones that aren't supposed to be here?
Yeah, and you wonder sometimes. You're like, you just because some of the interactions you get with them, and then the crazy part is we call it at the same time that happened. We called it EVP, saying that's me, and
Nice.
it was really weird, very strange. It was probably the most compelling moment I've ever had in paranormal, and I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud that we captured that. It was me and Mustafa, and it was just amazing.
very, very cool. So I have a question for you. I know from talking to some of the people who've been on the shows before that everybody just assumes that doing all this filming and traveling and this lifestyle is super glamorous. It's a lot of hard work, and it comes with its drawbacks too.
Yeah.
I guess you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. People think it's glamorous. There's no glamour involved. It's 99.9% work and 0.1% glamour. And the glamour part of it is when you get to actually sit down and watch your episode 6 months after you filmed it. And
Right.
That's the glamour part of it. People don't realize it's work. It's hard work. You're on the road. You're flying from. People don't realize when you're flying, you're getting on one plane, at say 6 a.m, and you're flying to one location. You got to catch another plane to fly to another location, and you're just playing catch up. And you get to you finally get to where you're going. Then you got to drive 5 hours to get to the place. Get your hotel, you're beat, and next thing you know, you got to be up first thing in the morning to go start filming. Everybody thinks you just go in at night and you start filming. No, we work anywhere. If we work a 10-hour day, that's a short day for us. Our days are anywhere from 12 to 16 hours, and that's a lot of filming, interviews. Like you see at the beginning of the show where we do the tour or the walkthrough with the client. That I've been on tours that have taken up to 6 to 8 hours to film. You're talking a whole day of just that.
Right.
And then you got all the client interviews and the eyewitness interviews, and they have to go do B-roll, the crew, and then you're researching and you're doing other stuff at the same time. And then you all of a sudden, it's nighttime and you go into investigation mode where you're investigating. As soon as it gets dark, from then till almost you're hearing the birds chirp in the morning is when you're heading back to your hotel. And then you get 4 or 5 hours sleep if you're lucky, because I can't sleep during the day. I'm just one of those people. And
It's time to do it all over again.
Yeah, it's like having anybody who's an investigator on here who's listening. They know what a paranormal hangover is. It's like having a paranormal hangover for months and months at a time. Yeah, between the sleep deprivation and from flying everywhere. You gotta think too. Your body, when you're going to some of these locations, like 1 week you might be in the desert, 90-degree weather to 100-degree weather at sea level, and then the week after that you're flying to 6,000 feet above sea level and it's 20 degrees. And that takes wear and tear on your body. By the time you're done a 2 or 3 week or a 4 week run, all you want to do is get home and just crash and just veg and try, and then all of a sudden it's a week and you're back on the road again.
Well, it's going to be hard being away from your wife and kids and your family and friends. And then by the time you actually do get home, it sounds like by the time you just adjust to being home, it's time to leave again.
Yeah, because you have to adjust, I'm assuming, and get your sleep schedule back to normal. And
yeah, it was weird. It was crazy because we actually got a break. It was right after. It was right in November. We got a 3-week break, and that was like, oh my God, we got 3 weeks off. We were like, what? We got 3 weeks. We could do anything we want. And it was so amazing. But the crazy part is, you get home for 2 weeks, and you're like, I'm ready to go back out again. You missed the team, you missed the crew. Like you got two families now. You got your home family, your wife, your kids, or husband, or kid, whoever, and you got that family. And then when you go back on the road, you're like, you got this extended family. Like especially with the team, we've all become so close and so tight knit, and we do everything together. And we work together for like it's anywhere from 10 to 16 hours a day. And then, if we have any time off, we're out in a restaurant eating together, or something of that nature. But you're traveling on the road together from one location to another, flying or even driving or whatever. And, it's like, it's this crazy balance. Yeah, but you get used to it after a while. I remember when I first started season 1, my first break coming home after a 3-week shoot, I was like, how in the hell am I going to do this? And then all of a sudden, you kick into it. Because like I got home, I didn't want to do anything. I literally sat on the couch for a week just catching up on Netflix. And because you don't watch any TV when you're out there, you're too busy. And when you're sitting in your hotel room, that's the last thing you want to do is watch TV. And it's just like it's just a balance. It's something you got to learn how to do. And I'm a big freak with working out and stuff. I work out 6 days a week, so it's always you got to find a gym when you're on the road, or hopefully the hotel has a decent gym. And me and Brian and Mustafa, we work out religiously all the time. So we're always we'll get right back to the hotel room. We'll pass out for 4 or 5 hours. We'll jump up, eat, and hit the gym. And then by the time you get back and shower, it's time to go back to work again. So yeah, you're constantly moving.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe get a couple questions from chat. I know you guys have been asking a lot, and we're seeing them and trying to keep up. But I'm going to start at this top one because I kind of like this question. So Darren's asking, what's your favorite trigger object that you can use at multiple locations?
Well, multiple. I mean, you can. The best trigger object is to bring somebody in who is related to the property of some sort. Like you'll see where we've done that quite a few times in the last 2 seasons with people who either live there. If you watched the last week's episode, we were in where were we? Jeez, I'm trying to remember where we were. we were in Missouri, and we brought in a lady named Sarah who was it was a place called the Glen House, and she never lived there, but her great-great-grandparents, it was their house. And matter of fact, she lives in Florida, I believe, and this place is in Missouri. And she came there to visit, and activity started happening when she left. So we brought her in as a trigger object. We flew her in. She had, and the crazy part is when you look at her great-great-grandmother, the photos of her, she looks identical.
Really?
The only thing different is her hairstyle. And it was so crazy. But we brought her in. We've done that on many locations. We were in Galena, Illinois, where it was an old Marine hospital, and we brought in an old captain. And we used him as a trigger object, Captain John. And that was amazing because when we brought him in, that place, he started using the old terminology that we used as riverboat captains. And he was using that lingo, and the activity kept really, it really amped up. So it really worked for us. But we've done that many times.
Yeah, definitely. I think
like using music.
What's that?
I like using music.
Well, we did that in, where was that? The Athenaeum in Indiana on season 1, where we brought in the string quartet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that really worked. We were starting to get all kinds of activity happening because the place was kind of, it had all kinds of, eyewitness reports and everything, but we were like trying to think, well, why are we getting anything, the first night investigating? And we were like, okay, so what's happening when they're seeing all this stuff? And a lot of times they're having musicians there, or there's plays going on, and we're like, okay, so Grant's idea was let's bring in a 4-string quartet, and we did, and oh my God, the activity within 10 or 15 minutes, it just started picking up. All our data recorders were going off, tri-field meters were going off. We were seeing these shadow figures moving across the balcony. It was pretty crazy.
I've had pretty good results, too. I'm sorry, Kelly, I cut you off. What were you going to say? About using people?
No idea.
About using people as trigger objects?
I don't know.
Okay.
It was like more than 30 seconds ago. I can't remember.
All right. One of the questions in here was, what are your thoughts on shadow people? What do you think they are?
I just think I think shadow people are just, they're entities. They're human entities. That's the way you're seeing them because they're drawing energy from the room or from the property, or they're not drawing energy, one or the other. And that's the reason you're seeing them in that shadow form. I think if they're able to draw, and this is theory. Just remember, everything I'm telling you right now is theory. There's no proof of this. There's no solid evidence of this, but everything on the paranormal starts as a theory. And my theory is that, when you're seeing these shadow anomalies, I like calling them shadow anomalies because they don't always look like people. So when you're seeing these shadow anomalies, a lot of times, there's nothing for them to feed off of. You're seeing them out of the corner of your eye, or you're seeing them down a dark hallway, in an abandoned building that doesn't have any power. Like a great example is Waverly Hill. Waverly Hill, you literally can walk through there in the middle of the day, and you're seeing these shadow figures darting in and out of rooms. I've never seen anything like it. It's crazy. So my opinion is that, when you're seeing them in that shadow form, it's because they have nothing to feed off of. They're basically just energy that's just moving, and it's just energy. But when it has something to feed off of, it can, more manifest into maybe an apparition where you're seeing either a half body or a full body apparition, or you're seeing them in a different aspect in that shadow anomaly. I don't think they're any different than any other paranormal. I just think just the way we see them at certain times.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Here's a quick one. What was your longest investigation?
The longest investigation would have been in Clifton, Arizona. We were there for over 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how is it decided how long you're going to stay at a location?
It depends on how big the location is usually. Like Clifton was an entire town. We investigated basically an entire town. Of course, we didn't investigate every building, but we investigated the ones where the claims were the highest and the most at stake, with people having problems. And Clifton would definitely be a place that we could go back to and you could probably spend a month there investigating. You still wouldn't get into every building because it's just, just the way it's set up. But it all depends on, like how big the location is, how much time we have, because there are time restraints for some people for, some of these places. So, that has a lot to do with it as well, time restraints.
So of all the places that you've been to, kind of a two-part question, what place would you love to be able to go back to and spend more time at? And have you hit any places that you wouldn't want to go back?
Well, the first part of that question would probably be, I got two places I would love to go back to. That'd be Fort Stanton in New Mexico, and I would think the Mohican Castle in Ohio. I think on both those locations, I think we still have a lot we can do there, and we left a lot on the table. And I think I would love to go back and pick up where we left off in both those locations. Is there a place I would never want to go back to? No, I don't think there's any place I would never want to re-investigate and just see, just even to see if we get the same evidence or something different happens. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Very cool.
Very cool. I have a question for you. As a personal investigator, what is it? Either when you started, or it could have changed by now. What are your goals as a paranormal investigator? Are you trying to prove something to yourself, to other people? Are you trying to help?
I would say that my goal and the team's goal, and this has pretty much come to fruition in in season 2, is bringing integrity into paranormal again.
Nice.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, and there was this big gap, and we watched it for years. I mean, anybody who knows me, I didn't watch the paranormal shows for a long time. I got to this point where I was like, I can't do it. I'm like, I'm not going to insult my intelligence. And when we got on this show, that was one of the big things when I was out in LA was integrity. And that's before I even signed on, I'm like, this is not going to be hat tricks. We're not going to be, blowing smoke up people's asses, excuse my language. And that's not what I'm about. And when I finally, they said, this is not yet, none of that's going to happen. And then I finally got to meet the team when we flew out to Florida the first time. And I saw they all were, pretty much in the same mindset as I was. And it was refreshing. And then we built this team, and we're now. And our thing is, in this second season, it's become more than just a show to us. It's become a point of us wanting to bring integrity to paranormal and try to take it from pseudoscience to a science. I know it's a big leap, and there's a bridge to cross there. But I think with the new equipment we're bringing to the field that's been used in science, it's not made in somebody's garage. It's not sold on Amazon. It's not, especially with this EMCCD camera. This type of stuff is what's going to help that. And I'm not saying that we're the ones that are going to do it, but we want to get it pointing in that direction. I think with what we've been doing in season 2 and what everybody's seeing, I'm seeing a lot of feedback from people out in the field, the people who are in the trenches and doing this every weekend. I'm seeing them, really kind of, grasping onto what we're doing and really liking it and trying our techniques and trying to get a hold of some of this equipment that we're using to embetter, themselves as investigators, which is very impressive, and I'm very proud to be a part of that.
I can't speak for season 2, but I can on season 1. I found it to be very responsible television, very smart, caring. I also promised somebody I would behave tonight and not talk badly about other TV shows. But I like the approach, and I hope that the younger generation looks to this as a guideline instead of some other shows that are out there that I feel it just don't go about it in the same way.
Well, and I think that's why I was so glad to see the show was coming back, because it's like we need to get away from the showboating shows, and get back to the reality of what paranormal investigating is. And that's, I think, exactly what you guys are doing. And to bring that focus back, kind of where it started is needed.
Yeah, I think it is. It's something that's been missing for a while in the field. And
Long while.
Yeah, it's like it was going in circles and just spinning. It's the same old thing week in, week out. And I think it's refreshing. It's refreshing for people to see it being done differently and being done with some passion. And you could tell we really, we love what we're doing and everything we're putting into it. And I think that's starting to show to people, and they're starting to see that.
I just hope the younger ones that are just coming into it now look at this as more of a guideline than some of the others, because I personally think you need more respect, compassion, empathy when you're doing these locations. You're dealing with real people.
Oh, yeah. But I think it's going to help those of us that have been in the field for a long time.
As a reminder.
Well, not just the reminder, but also, we were kind of getting pushed to the background because and I'm not saying Ghost Hunters is boring, don't take this way, but we're more boring than the sensational, look at, I'm possessed and all of this, and so we're kind of got this whole, you just go over there, we're going to pay attention to the showboat people, and we need someone to step back up there and say, hey, this is the reality, this is what needs to pay attention to, this is where the respect belongs. And so you got my support 100%.
Well, thank you. And you're definitely 100% right. There are times, but the great part about our show is you don't get to see the boring stuff. You don't get to see the hours and hours that we are not capturing things.
Right.
You got 42, 43 minutes, if you're lucky, to fit a week's worth of investigating into that. And you're seeing the excitement, and you're seeing the thrills and the evidence we're capturing, and the jump scares and things of that. And it's like the original show, but on steroids. It's been turned up to 11. And that's what I love so much about it. It's different. It's completely different, but the same at the same time, because there's integrity there and it's being done right.
I think so. And I thank you guys.
Well, and what you said, and what you said is a great example and the truth. You've said yourself, you guys will go out and spend a week on site, and it's narrowed down to 43 minutes, That's reality. That's just kind of the way it goes. So
absolutely. Yeah, there's so much you guys do not see, and there's a lot of great evidence you guys don't see either. It just doesn't make it because you don't have time for it. Unfortunately, they could make a whole another 2 or 3 seasons just off the evidence alone that we have not used in the show, and some of the evidence is mind blowing and amazing, but it just doesn't make the cut.
Yeah.
How hard is it not talking about an episode that hasn't aired yet? Like, you get something awesome that happens at Waverly, you can't talk about it yet. So you just wait until it airs, and then you're like, yes.
Yeah, I'm used to that now. It was kind of hard in the beginning. I'm kind of used to it now. I'm numb to it. I'm lucky enough to get to see the episodes before they air, and I already know what's in store for everybody. So, because usually what we do is when the episode's airing, we're actually live tweeting, and we're engaging with the audience who are watching it, and we really can't watch it. It's on in front of us because we're kind of following along, listening to it while we're talking to people on Twitter. But it's hard. It's hard. Like, I would love to tell you everything about Waverly right now, and I can't. There's so many great parts that I totally forgot about, and when I watched it yesterday, I was like, oh my God, I forgot that happened. Oh my God, I forgot we captured that. Oh yeah, what about that? It's sensory overload, and it's fun to do though. It's fun to watch.
That's great.
Our hour is already up, so I'm trying to find. There was one more. There's a lot more questions we didn't get to, but we would be here until 11 o'clock at night if we asked every single one of these questions.
Well, while you're looking through things, Daryl, did you want an opportunity to just kind of let everybody know where they can find you and what you have coming up?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. For one thing, I want to tell you, I've got some events coming up here. If you guys are in the area and you're interested, if you want to get back out and start doing some ghost hunting. So June 6th, I'm going to be at the Exchange Hotel in Gordonsville, Virginia. It's an event. It's a meet and greet and an investigation as well after the greet. And also June 13th and 14th, I'll be at Applewood Colonial B&B in Williamsburg, Virginia. So 2 dates there, 13th and 14th of June. Also a meet and greet and investigation. And on July 17th and 18th, I'll be at Haldeman Mansion in Pennsylvania. So that's also a 2-day event. Once again, meet and greet, investigation. And you can come find me on all my social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I've just started a new Patreon account. So you want to see behind the scenes investigation, parts of my daily life, what I do and the things I do, and just behind the scenes type stuff. Well, check me out on Patreon. It's a good time. You can see things that no one else sees.
I will. I've shared almost everything except the Patreon. So I'll write it down and I'll share it later for you too.
Okay.
All right. 2 more quick questions.
Yeah.
What is your bucket list that you haven't been to yet?
I've got 2 that I got one in the States and one outside the States. In the States is Tombstone, Arizona, which I'm supposed to go to at some point here this year. Actually, I was there. I drove past it when we were in Arizona filming, and I didn't get a chance to stop. And if I went over to Europe, I would love to go to Dracula's castle.
Nice.
It's for sale right now. You could just buy it.
$66 million.
$66 million.
I saw that.
Pocket change again.
Let me check my account real quick.
Yeah.
Now, because I told you the secret that it's for sale, I mean, if you do buy it, I want to come visit. So.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'll charge you rent.
Yeah, there. See?
Right.
There you go. And Darren Buss said thank you for the advice on the equipment. And he just also would like to know if you have any advice for him because he is starting up his new team.
Oh, yeah, he's welcome. Any advice? Well, big advice is one thing you remember when you're starting up a new team, people are going to come and people are going to go. And just, go in with integrity when you're investigating and be, very knowful of what's going on around you at all times. And, a lot of times you when you're doing investigations, don't always rely on equipment. Rely on yourself.
Amen.
Rely on your own feelings and your own intuitions, and that'll get you far in this field. And it's not always about the equipment, guys.
That is right.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah, no worries.
I agree. I am leaving chat for a second while we talk. So, Kelly, what's your next thing? We're running out of time, but I want to let do you know?
Yeah, so quarantine has honestly cut a lot of my events. So my next event is going to be the summer solstice event at Cambry House. And then I think the next thing after that might be Gettysburg.
I'll be at Gettysburg Bash too, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, yay. We'll get to meet.
Oh, good to see you.
Yeah, Battlefield Bash, yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. Darren wants to know if there's going to be a part 2 for you to be on the show. Shays.
I'm always open to be on the show. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Let's see where I will be on Storming the Unknown Monday on Paranormal Warehouse with Ashley.
Oh, nice, Ashley Storm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's great. Great show. Great network. People don't know either. I mean, I'm a co-owner of Paranormal Warehouse, and we are currently looking for new live streams and podcasts and YouTube series. So if anybody's interested, they can always message me, and I will set up a meeting with whoever it is and interview them.
Nice. Awesome. You guys heard that. I still can't find what I was looking for. I like I said before the show, I'm painting and stuff, And so I lost all my information that I was supposed to say tonight.
Oh, no.
I am bad, but that's okay. I'll do it after. And I will make sure I share your new Patreon page. Thank you so much for being here. Kelly, you want to do a quick last shout-out to anybody I missed?
So I'll kind of scroll through here quick. We got Matt, Mama Deb, Shay, Darren. I'm scrolling fast. So.
Yep.
And guys, don't forget, next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Waverly Hills.
Yeah, at Waverly Hills. Season finale.
It's just super fun place. I can't wait to see it.
I might have to skip the rest and watch that one and then go back and watch. I might have to.
I have the Beholder, Kim. Freddie was in there for a little bit.
Janice, I didn't get to say her earlier.
Yep, Janice.
I think I got everybody else.
Super fast. I think that's everybody between you and I.
I said A was in there earlier, so I think I got everybody. Okay, guys, next week we're going to finish our Mad May off with our paranormal drinking games. This is why I could squeeze you in. We're just having fun trying to entertain people this month.
Because we needed a week sober. Oh, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I will not be drinking. I'm just going to tell you what I found on the internet. Non-investigating. These are home games you play. They're not... You don't drink while you're investigating, guys. So,
no.
Never. But
that's against the rules.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We will see you next Friday.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Daryl.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.